So the black community is in an uproar because Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and whoever else, Rick Ross. I ain't seen Rick Ross video, but Snoop Dogg and Nelly for sure performed at Donald Trump's inauguration yesterday. And I guess you could say rightfully so, because this is what Snoop Dogg said about right before during Donald Trump's first election win.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the out one of you Uncle Tom ass for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first? I was the one that's performing.
And it seems like he was the first one to perform. But anyway, like I say, but it's funny because we all know before this, before Donald Trump ran for president the first time, everybody uh, wanted to be like Donald Trump. Everybody mentioned him in their rap songs. People wanted to take pictures with him. People wanted to go to stay in the Trump towers and the plaza and all this kind of stuff. Then all of a sudden he runs for president, and now all of a sudden he's racist. Not, mentioning that Joe Biden is probably the most racist president we've had in recent history. Just gotta look at his history. But like I say, everybody's in uproar over this. But it's funny because, well, I'm gonna tell y'all why Snoop Dogg probably felt like he had to perform for Donald Trump. But first, let's look at what CNN said before the inauguration.
Snoop and Nelly are going to be at this thing. And I think it really does beg the question whether the culture is starting to thaw to Donald Trump. I mean, are they?
About time.
I don't think so. We definitely saw a lot of people, Sexy Red, others say, he sent me a check, so I'm good with him, the stimulus check.
And Sexy Red is like, she's hood, she ghetto, so that's something that, I expect her to say.
And I understand that there is that crew of people who are like the stimmy.
Because I remember he sent me a check because shouldn't Sexy Red be making more money than me? I would think so. But when my check came, I didn't even cash it because you know why? Because I'm the type of person that say nobody's going to give you nothing for free, especially not the federal government. So did my little research and found out that, yeah, it's like they're letting you borrow this money because come tax time, you're going to have to pay it back or you're going to have to claim it so you can pay your fair share of taxes.
Check came. I like him now. Snoop and Nelly in particular are apolitical people and apolitical artists. Like you see Snoop with Martha Stewart, he's like, I fly over. I want everyone to like me. Mm-hmm. I think this is more about capitalism than politics. Somebody said, Snoop, it's the crypto ball. We got $250 for you or $150 for one night. Come do 10 songs, 6 songs, whatever. Yeah, I'm there, homie. Nelly, the same thing.
There are a lot of rappers who have sided with Donald Trump. For all kinds of, he pardoned.
He was giving away pardons.
Okay, so look at these guys. Let's see, Snoop Dogg. I like Doggy Style. Still trying to find the vinyl for that first album. The original vinyl that had a song that was only released on the first cut. If you know what I'm talking about, then hit me up. If you know somebody who got it, hit me up. Shoot, I'm willing to pay good money for that record. I've been looking for it for the longest. The Baby, is he still rapping? I don't, I guess he is. I don't know, but he ain't. I don't listen to radio like that, so I don't know if he's still putting out a hit. Kodak Black. Anyway, Waka Flocka Flame. That guy hasn't put out an album, but when you watch his videos, this dude has become a pretty smart businessman. I think he makes a lot of money on investments. I think he got real estate, maybe stock market. I'm not sure, but he talks like a pretty smart businessman. Kanye West, we know he's a smart dude. They tried to ostracize him or, ban him or blackball him because he said something about the untouchables. And Lil Wayne, and him and Kodak Black, I think they got the same, I think they deal with the same plug.
Yeah,
they're giving away pardons to people, and that's why they were.
But what's going on there? What is it about these particular?
These are not the intellectuals of hip hop. These are not except for Kanye. These are typically not political people at all. Like like I said, there's some in the hood. There's this notion of he's tough. He gave us money, right? They're not.
I was reminded also, I mean, back in the 80s, Donald Trump was, at the boxing matches. He was with Don King. I mean, he was in a different place in the culture. He went into the 90s as the subject of rap songs. And just, Gail, I know you're not a rap expert, but
I am definitely not
a rap expert. But something happened in this election, maybe, where because of his victory, all the business people were like, you know what? Trump is no longer politically toxic. And some of these folks are making the exact same calculation on the music side as well.
The thing about it is a lot of them didn't believe what they were saying. They were fed the narrative of Trump being a racist. Trump was a was a threat to democracy. It's going to bring in Project 2025. All these things, it was propaganda. He's a felon. He's been charged with all these cases all across the country. And pretty much all of them have been dismissed. Now, people still want to say that he's a 37-time convicted felon. And we've already been through that about like you do one charge or you do one thing and they put like 3 or 4 charges on you for that one particular act. Same thing, like it's like 4 or 5 acts and they put like however many charges they had, and they put like 3 extra charges on each one of those. So that's how I ended up like 37. He didn't do like 37 things, individually. It was like one thing and they hit it like 5 or 6 times. So anyway, and like I say, that's probably going to be dismissed anyway. In what I'm saying, in the future. So yeah, they was all fed this propaganda about who he was, how racist he was, how terrible he was to the country. When it's like, dude, he's been president before. And I'm not in chains or I'm not walking around with freedom papers. So what do you think? Why would I be afraid of him being president the second time around? I'm not worried about people say, oh, I had more money in my pocket. I don't even, what I'm saying? I understand that's important and it is important, but truth be told, I don't even remember what I had in my pocket back then. All I know is for the last 7 years since I've got my degree, since I started my career and been able to make money how I want to make money and, what I'm saying, as much money as I want to, or, work as many hours and stuff like that and start businesses and YouTube channel, stuff like that. I ain't really tripping on money. I mean, it hurts. And don't get me wrong. I hate going to the grocery store and having to spend $200 on like 5 or 6 bags of groceries. Don't like it at all. Or spending or like, filling my tank up with the premium gas and paying like 80, almost $90 for a full tank. Don't like it at all. Wish it would go back the other way. But again, I can't really say how much money how much more money I had in my pocket then. I know it's worse. I know it's bad, but I just can't. Maybe it was too good back then to where like I said, I just went through it and didn't even know it. But now, like I said, I'm like, nah, this is not right. But I'm still able to pay my bills. But if it was back the way it was, yeah, I like it. I definitely like it better.
We are doing exactly that. And it is an honor. It's an honor to be able to sing at an inauguration. It's an honor to be able to sing at one of the balls. It's an honor. I have a daughter who's a singer, and she was on American Idol, one of the finalists.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
And she was asked to sing at a convention. And she lost so many friends and so many fans because she agreed to sing.
Wow.
And I just think it's time for entertainers to get out of politics and entertain.
Well, they're getting into politics.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow. Shut up and dribble.
Here's one of the Hippocratic, or however you want to call it, issues I have with the Black community, my community, and entertainers. Regardless of what you think about Snoop and his flip-flopping when it comes to money, if you were upset when someone like Snoop or Nelly goes and performs for the president that for some reason you don't like, you can't really say why you don't like him. People tripping on Michelle Obama because she didn't go to the inauguration, and it's like, dude, you can't. when you're married, you got to be a unified front, whether you like it or not. In the good times and the bad, you do what looks right for your family. As a married couple, as a woman, you do what looks right for your husband. You can't hate a man more than you love your husband. You should be able to sit next to your enemy if need be and not say a word. Men do it all the time. We're talking about like wars, like sworn enemies can sit here and have wars for years and then say, you know what, enough is enough. Let's come to the table. Hell, even in rap battles, come on now, come to the table and let's see if we can't hash something out like men. And men will do it. Men will, like I say, warring countries will sit at the same table in the same room and sit together and have a ceasefire. Give the other team the opportunity to rebuild, make their money, you make their money. We keep, hell, who knows? Maybe in the future we could be buddies. We can collab and do it, and you know what I'm saying, do a song together. That's what men do. So for her not to go, and there's speculation as to why she didn't go, I don't know. But if emotions is the reason why she didn't go, then that's a like I said, that's a big problem to me. But back to what I was saying, if you are so upset with Snoop or Nelly performing with Donald Trump, okay. So you should also be upset with any of your favorite rapper who signs or who have signed a record deal with the likes of people like Lyra Cohen, who went on the Breakfast Club and stated that when asked about the music he allows his artists to put out, the music that's detrimental to the black community, after him and Han for like 2 seconds, this guy said, I got kids I got to put through college. So basically he's saying he don't care what kind of music you put out. He don't care how detrimental it is to the black community, talking about gangs and drugs and violence and deleting each other and being drug addicts, let alone being drug dealers. You should be mad at the rappers who signed to him and not listen to their music ever. Because that's hurting your community more than them voting for Donald Trump. Because that music is emotional. It plays on your psyche. So I don't want to hear people talking about that. So that's what I'm saying. So to me, it's just hypocritical that folks get mad at Snoop Dogg for this. You can't. There's too many instances out there where I'm quite sure you know the people that you probably work with, work for, the stores you go to, things you do, probably have people in there who hate your guts, who don't like you, who will be quick to call you the N-word if you get on their nerves, probably call you that behind your back every day of the week. And yet you'll still do their bidding. Because why? Because especially at work, why? Because you got bills to pay. But Snoop and Nelly are just public figures, and they did the same thing you do by going to work because they got bills to pay.
Wow, I didn't think we were going to go there.
Well, Keith, I mean, what would you say? I mean, if Snoop were sitting right here at this table, what would you tell him?
Well, I had a disagreement with Snoop, I think, a year or two ago. Something he endorsed Rick Caruso. He was supporting Rick Caruso, for mayor of Los Angeles, who I disagree with. And I stated that publicly as well. But, I think that a lot of these rappers are not the intellectuals in the community, as Teray was pointing out, but it's also a dishonor to the black community.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Donald Trump, the man who would refuse to rent to black people in the 1970s, who tried to lead a lynch mob against 5 black and brown kids in the 1980s for the Central Park case, who refused to allow black casino workers to have a prominent place in his casino.
Donald Trump, who's not Donald Trump, but Joe Biden, who said he didn't want his kids to go to school like in a jungle with all these animals, talking about your black kids, helped author and pass the crime bill back in 1991, 1994. I can't think about it right now. That signed that crime bill that put a lot of your people in jail for long sentences. Not trying to validate or justify crimes being committed, but the sentences that were handed out disproportionately to your people compared to his folk, the same guy who pardoned, I'm thinking, did anybody say that how come he only pardoned? Because somebody put, who was it? Who was that? Was it Gayle King that said Donald Trump's inauguration didn't have enough people of color in it? But yet, did anybody say that Joe Biden's pardoning of half of America didn't have a lot of people of color in it? Maybe a couple. Nah, I'm not justifying one for the other, but I'm sitting here saying you can't, what they say, you can't throw stones in a glass house, and that's like the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot, calling the kettle a pot. You got two people, pretty much the way y'all say it, staring each other in the, looking at each other in the mirror. So I don't want to hear this issue.
In Atlantic City in the 1990s, who spent 5.5 years lying about Barack Obama's birth certificate in the 2000s, who came into office and then attacked Black people like Colin Kaepernick, who attacked Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss for simply doing their jobs as Fulton County election workers. You dishonor those people when you go and perform for this man who has done nothing but dishonor Black people. And just even last year,
just like the whole Democratic Party. Republican Party too, but Democratic Party too. The problem with Democrats, come on, y'all. The problem with the Democratic Party in this election, let's get into it. It was that what they ran on had nothing to do with Black people, had nothing to do with my money. It had nothing to do to uplift the manhood. It was all about reproductive rights and illegal immigrants flooding the country. That was it, and that's why they lost.
just last year, he was calling Haitian immigrants, accusing them of eating cats and dogs.
And I thought the same thing because that's what the news put out. It wasn't nothing he made up. I saw the news article, a news story that said that they was doing that. And so he just, ignorantly repeated it.
This is not somebody that Black people should be associated with and pretending to normalize. We should be challenging him. And it dishonors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we honor on Monday.
Right. So, yeah, that's a Democratic shield, but that's fine. But, so finally, we're going to get to why I felt that Snoop Dogg probably felt that he needed to perform for Donald Trump. Again, 7 years ago, he was calling people coons if you were going to perform for him. And then all of a sudden, even like before the election, he was Democrat bound down and wasn't going to change. And all of a sudden, he's performing for Donald Trump. But you got to understand, Snoop Dogg has loyalty. Not only to money, but to this guy right here. This is a story back 4 years ago. Matter of fact, 4 years ago, damn near to the day. RollingStone.com, Snoop Dogg thanks Trump for pardoning Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O. Harris, who was serving time on attempted deletion and trafficking charges, gave Suge Knight $1.5 million to help start the seminal hip-hop label. Now, they say that's not, Suge Knight has always denied that. So I can't get into that part. But it says Snoop Dogg thanked the former President Donald Trump for issuing a last-minute pardon to Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O. Harris, the New York Post reported. Although often an outspoken critic of Trump, Snoop Dogg had been part of the lobbying effort to commute Harris's sentence during the final days of Trump's presidency. Leading the charge were criminal justice reform advocates Alice Marie Johnson and Weldon Angelos, both of whom Trump had previously pardoned. Quote, that's great work for the president and his team on the way out, Snoop Dogg reportedly said during a call with Johnson and Angelos after being told the news. His remarks were shared with the Post with Snoop Dogg's permission. They did some great work while they was in there, and they did some great work on their way out. Let them know I love what they did. People don't remember this. See, people don't pay attention to this. All they listen to is this sensationalism stories. And that's it. They don't pay attention to people's lives daily and what they do and sit in the back of their brain. You know why? Because they don't read. People don't read nowadays. So they tend to span it too short. So some come across their face, they see it real quick and then they forget it. But I remember this. I remember him talking. I remember him saying that. It said Harris played a crucial role in the founding of Death Row Records in 1992 while in jail. Okay, well, like I said, I don't know. That's been dispute. Well, they've been questioning that, and Suge Knight said it never happened. So they say, as the Daily Beast previously reported, Harris has spent nearly 30 years in prison on attempted, like I said, deletion and trafficking charges. His sentence was supposed to last until 2028. Although efforts to get him a pardon or compassionate release ramped up this year. Harris reportedly suffers from an autoimmune disease. The Federal Correction Institute, Lompoc in California, where he was being held, was one of the many prisons to suffer a devastating COVID-19 outbreak. Prior to official pardon, Johnson told Daily Beast about the efforts to get Harris clemency, saying the president knows how much his case means to me. In reviewing Michael Harris's case, his story, and what he's gone through, this is such an unfair case. He should have been home a decade ago. I really felt for this man. I'm very hopeful that he will be home before the end of the Trump administration. You gotta understand now. Remember, Michael Harris was supposed to be like a big time pusher, big time plug. So that's one reason. And like I said, he will be like involved or responsible for a lot of deletions. So that's one reason why he's been in jail for a long time. But like I said, you have to understand this man has some loyalty. And why is this important? Because Snoop Dogg and Michael Harris now supposedly own or are the face of the new Death Row Records that supposedly they took control of within the past couple of years. So Snoop Dogg has loyalty to Michael Harris, who has loyalty to Trump. So a friend of Michael Harris is probably a friend of Snoop Dogg. And that's, my friends, why I believe Snoop Dogg felt compelled. And he probably got a nice check too. But hey, this here did not hurt. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, share them with the world. Let's have an intelligent conversation. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those four things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to us here. If you like support us financially, you can give super thanks, super chats, super stickers, and you can go to the description box. There are links there you can click on, and you can support us that way. Hey, and don't forget to go to the shop button, man. We got products I know you will love. And with that being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.